Recently, I was on a webinar where people asked me, well, what is attachment really? So here's my simple schematic that helps put it in place. If we have a good attachment, we have what John Bowlby and the attachment theorists call a secure base. We have a place inside of us, a psychological, emotional place that feels secure. It's like there's a bottom inside of us. When something goes wrong, we don't crash and burn all the way out. There's a base, something, secure base is right in there. And we need this because in life, every time we're doing anything, we're stepping outside of our comfort zone, right? We're doing something, and happens everywhere, anytime when we do something. It happens certainly the first time we do something. It happens many other times we do something. Anytime we do something new, anytime we engage in a certain way where we don't know what we're doing, we step outside of our comfort zone and try something different. And we need that, right? Because we're always growing and developing. There's that inner urge that's just biological to keep moving, growing, and becoming. So that's what happens inside of us. It's not just a theory, it's something that's literally happening inside. And what makes it easier to step outside of our comfort zone is when there's this is what the research said, an older, wiser person. Now, this person doesn't have to actually be somebody that's a hugely more advanced than we are, or older or wiser. It might be just a little bit more. It might be somebody that coaches us or helps us, or an older sister or brother, somebody that we trust and feel safe with, that helps us navigate life and step outside of our comfort zone. Because that urge is so strong inside of us to grow, to become who we are, and explore the world. We see this with kids all the time. We feel it inside of ourselves. We want to extend out and become more. But anytime we do, right, we all know this from our own experience. When we step outside, there's going to be some anxiety that comes up, or something that we navigate. Something that's going to be like, ooh, oh my gosh, is it safe? Is it okay? Am I going to do okay? And what makes this navigating this turbulent experience is knowing that we have this secure base. This safe haven is what Mary Ainsworth called it, a safe haven to return to. That there's somebody, someplace, something that helps us mitigate this anxiety, that reassures us and lets us know all is going to be well. Now, what tends to happen, and why I've often said that shame is an attachment wound, is because if we don't really have this so much of a secure base, and we step out as we grow and develop and expand into the world, we will have some anxiety, and often it's a little bit heightened when we don't have this secure base. And then the natural impulse is to reach out, right? The natural impulse is to know, am I okay? Is everything okay? We look at people, we want reassurance and guidance. It's natural. We see it in every mammal that there is, this tendency for wanting safety. You can see it with animals that move closer together if there's any kind of perceived threat out there. But if we don't have a secure base, then when that anxiety comes up, we don't have a safe haven to return to. And this is where there's a breakdown. And this really is where there's the shame starts building. We feel like there's something wrong with me, that I want my body. My natural inclination is for reassurance, safety, connection, warmth, anything to mitigate this anxiety and reassure ourselves, and it's not there. And what happens then is I feel like there's something wrong with me. This is the genesis of shame. There's something wrong with me. And so something wrong with me. That's really ultimately what shame is all about. I've reached out, my body did what it did, and I think hoping, wishing, and it's not even a cognitive thing. Isn't that the truth? It's like we feel like it should be there. Like it's just naturally, I'm reaching, and there's like a shock. There's an attachment shock is what I call it when we're not getting what we need. And we have all kinds of responses of shame that there's something wrong with me, and we shut down these natural native urges within ourselves to have our needs met. And I'll go into that another time, but I just wanted to outlay this, the whole idea of what is attachment and this natural and native attachment cycle and what happens when it's broken. So post your comments, let me know so that I can keep deepening this material. Jill, you're saying, gosh, I've just been feeling like this for so long. Yeah, tell me more, Jill, because this is basically it. The theory is all out there. Like the theory speaks about how we want to explore. Every child wants to explore and extend themselves out into the world. It's just native and natural for us. This is a genesis of motivation and well-being and affect regulation when it's working. It's very important for safety, for decreasing stress, for resilience, the building of resilience. But if we don't have our needs met, if there isn't the reassurance and connection and warmth that we need, we devolve into something else, and it makes it much harder. So Becky's saying, thank you. That was so helpful. Good. I'm so glad, Becky, because it really is one of the things that helped me so much in my own healing. And it certainly is so much of what people express to me as their healing. Michelle, you're saying you missed the beginning. I'm learning these things with your therapist. Yes, honey. Well, that's why we have the video, so you'll have that. It's there. It's also what I stress in my book, right? Becoming Safely Embodied. So there's a whole bit around attachment in there, so you'll have that. Polly, you're saying attachment shock is a very helpful term for me, right? It was for me too. It's why it dawned on me when it happened. It's like we're naturally going to want and need that. It's everything in us is expecting the care and the reassurance and the kindness. And if we don't get it, it's really shocking. And my colleague Frank Corrigan does really wonderful work at helping people to unwind that. Oh, Vivian's here. Great. Yeah, it makes so much sense. Good. Vivian, great to see you here. Michelle, yes, there will be a replay for sure. I'll have that up there. Oh, thanks, Vivian. Nice to hear. It's great to be with you. Great to be with all of you. And so, so important for us to get this, because we are not stuck. We are not trapped. You are not going to be doomed to, especially if you live with shame, you are not doomed to live with shame. Shame can be not even unlearned, but when we meet our needs, then everything starts easing and softening, and we're so much better off than instead of expecting you out there to meet my unmet needs that I should have had met years ago, but I didn't. I learned I have these needs so I can be in a relationship with myself, so then I can be in a better relationship with you out there and be in the world in a better way. Gil, you're saying, I have been feeling especially aware of this in the last week. I just do not allow people to come into my space any longer. Maybe so many years of wishing and not finding it stops me. I'm now 52 and feel lost. Sad I lost my part. Actually, Jill, yes, there's sadness, of course, but it does not have to be a bad thing. I promise you this, because this natural cycle that I'm talking about, when we get that, you said, somewhere your body learned that reaching out for contact was not good, that it was going to be, there's some kind of shock going to be there. But what happens is when you start validating, I did this whole teaching on this in the Safely Embodied Learning community last night, actually, when we can mirror what's happening. Yeah, I have that need. I have that need. And then I validate it and I reassure myself. then it can relax and ease. And I can then learn how to rebuild that. And in fact, in the research, we call that earned secure attachment. So you are not doomed at all. Promise you that. Promise you that. Totally possible. Oh, Michelle's asking what the book is. Glad to tell you. Becoming Safely Embodied. This is my third book. It's out. Don't you just love the cover? It did such a beautiful job with that. And that image is about being fragmented to becoming whole. That's what's possible. So, yep, there it is. It's definitely on Amazon and other bookstores. And you can, if you're in the US, you can use this link. And let me see if this is coming on here. Whoops. Made this way too big for me. Did it go up there? Yes, it went in there. Okay. All right, my dears, I better go. I'm about to talk to somebody else, but I so enjoyed hanging out with you and having this time with you, and wish you all the best. You'll find your way. Trust yourself. You are being guided from within, and I'm glad to be there in the process with you. All right, everybody. Ah, so good. Michelle, you said. Yes. Oh, so nice. So glad to hear. Oh, man, that's great. Vivian, you said even the feel of the book brings me to know. Oh, good. Good. That's nice when that happens, isn't it? All right, my loves. I'll talk to you.